All rise for the jury.
The human body is 60% water. It shouldn't burn like dry kindling, yet sometimes it does. Or at least, that's what stories say. A single person, alone in their home, consumed by flames no one saw start. Flames that leave the room untouched, but the victim gone. Today, I'm taking you into the shadows of science and superstition to explore one of the most unsettling cases, not because of what happened, but because we still don't have answers. Welcome back to another episode of Justice 4. We are your host.
I'm Jackie.
And I'm Sam.
Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What in the Iron Man is this?
Oh, I wish it was that.
That's all I could think of.
Before I proceed, I want to point out that there are some discrepancies in the information that I was finding. I did my best to wade through all of it, but this is just a heads up for everyone.
Well, I saw the dates for the headstone, and I understand why.
Yes. So it is July 2nd, 1951, and we are in St. Petersburg, Florida.
It's always Florida.
Always. I don't know.
It's always Florida. For crime junkies, it's always Washington. For us, it's always Florida.
We've had a lot
of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania or Florida.
Actually, we've had a shit ton in Colorado.
I think we did that
that's
because
we're here.
That's
neither here nor there.
Yeah. All right. So around 5 a.m. on July 2nd, Pansy Carpenter, a landlady in her early 60s, wakes up because she heard a dull thud. She said it sounded like a door was closing. She took a quick step outside, didn't see anything, but she said she also smelled a faint scent of smoke. But her garage electric pump had been having issues, so she assumed it was from that, and then she went back to bed.
She didn't check it?
Nope.
Oh, cool. So, I know my garage pump is freaking out and could smoke, but it's fine.
It's fine. It's just a garage. Just after 8 a.m., Pansy starts making her usual morning rounds. She and one other woman named Mary Reeser live in the apartment homes. This is not like a modern apartment complex that you might be thinking about. It's a one-story, rancher-style studio apartments.
Is it like a row of 3 or 4 of them,
Yeah.
kind of together, like a...
Yeah, and then there's a courtyard in the middle.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We will be posting a photo of the outside of the apartment. If you're not watching the YouTube video, it will be posted somewhere, I'm sure. Pansy had a telegram to take to Mary, which is very scary to say. I don't know why that's so weird for me to say. Telegram.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She knocked on Mary's door. No one answered. When she calls out Mary's name, silence.
Weird.
Mm-hmm. So she tries the doorknob, but immediately pulls her hand back because it's hot.
Okay.
And then there's a smell. Not just smoky, but thick and heavy. The kind of smell that makes you instinctively know something's wrong.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So she somehow...
But we don't have any flames or any, smoke, coming out or
Nope.
anything? We just smell smoke and the handle's hot?
Yeah.
Electrical fire?
She is able to open the door. I don't know if she just used a cloth or something.
It's the 50s. We're delivering a telegram. She could have just pulled her apron up. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that sexist? Well, everyone
That's
wore an
not
apron back
sexist.
then.
Yeah.
I get the point.
I want one.
I kind of want an apron too.
I want one of those ones that cross in the back. I think they're very popular in Japan.
We're gonna have a apron craft day.
Okay.
Let's make aprons.
I'm in.
I will say they were meant to not be worn all the time.
Well, when you're
When you're doing work around the house, it's to protect the dress because
Yeah.
you don't want to have to wash the dress very often.
yeah, it's something to wipe your hands on and stuff. But they also wore them around cleaning and stuff. And I could see if you're just running something to somebody and coming back.
She was also a landlady, and there's pockets in the aprons.
Oh yeah, because dresses didn't have pockets in the 50s.
We're getting better.
We're
getting there. Regardless.
Sorry.
She somehow opens the door, and at first everything looks normal. There's a lamp standing in the corner, the walls are cleanish, Mary's chair is right where it's supposed to be. But as Pansy gets closer, she realizes the chair is not normal. It's actually almost been burned completely away.
Just a burnt chair?
Uh-huh. And in its place is also a pile of ash in the shape of a human.
Like, we're talking like movie when they zap and they just go to Ash sitting in the chair?
Kind of, yeah. Basically.
Shut up.
Yeah. But, you know, like, obviously not up, but like...
Then how's it in the shape of a human still?
I don't know, man. But that's what it said.
Okay. Sorry for all the movie
Probably
references.
the burn within the chair.
Oh, heard. Got you. The burn within the chair. You said the ash is in the shape of a human body, so I'm legit, like, imagining, you know, like...
I mean, it's not like when you burn something in, like, the Looney Tunes and it turns into this perfect
That's
pile.
what I have in my mind right now, okay? is the, like, the Wile E. Coyote, you know, he gets burned by something and his whole, like, body is right there. And
Except for his eyes are still there blinking.
Yeah, and,
oh
like,
my
the
gosh.
ashes. That's the visual you gave me.
I'm sorry. 67-year-old Mary had been reduced to almost nothing.
But the house isn't on fire?
No. The only part left was her left foot, still wearing a black satin slipper, still perfectly intact. Skin, bones, and all.
But she's gone.
Mm-hmm. You're going to get more confused. Just hold on.
I'm aware.
But first, let me tell you about Mary. She was born Mary Hardy in Pennsylvania. Yep.
There we go.
And she was born in 1884. She grew up in a quiet middle-class family. Her parents weren't rich, but they valued manners, education, and independence.
What was middle class in the 1880s?
$3.
Okay.
I don't know. And they raised Mary to carry herself with poise and dignity. Even as a girl, she was known for being proper, thoughtful, and responsible, the kind of child teachers remembered because she was polite, curious, and always seemed a little older than her actual age. Mary did have siblings, but she was particularly close to her mother. She learned the importance of grace under pressure, how to manage a household, and how to navigate life with quiet confidence.
Okay. I mean, this is all very... coming from a women's book of the early 1900s, very on par.
I know. My mind was, like, as I'm sitting here typing this, I was thinking of that Miranda Lambert song. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Also, what I was thinking here, I was doing the math in my head. 1884 is when she was born, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes her, like, our age, Mary Poppins times.
Yeah, totally.
I'm sorry. I don't know why that's the
Yeah.
math I was doing, because I was like, well, what years would it have been if she was, like, a kid and, like, a teenager? And then I was like, oh, my gosh.
She's like the Gen X of modern times.
There we go. No, I was trying to, like, figure out, like, where she was in, like, for, like, the 20s and, like, the 1910s and, like, what age she would have been in those. Just kind of getting an idea. Sorry. Because it's really cool when people are born before 1900 and, like, kind of see, like, where they were.
She was in her prime during the Roaring 20s.
She was. That's
In
what I
her
was... That's the math
prime.
I was getting to.
But she was also very much not like that as well.
I know.
So, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to see if she would have lived up her life in the Roaring 20s.
She was not in Leonardo DiCaprio's mansion.
She was not being drawn like a French girl?
Correct.
Okay.
You went Titanic, I went Great Gatsby.
I see. Now we went very different places.
But at least we were both on the same page with Leo.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you guys. She was the kind of young woman who would always write thank you notes after a visit, and who seemed to understand that kindness and attention to detail really mattered, even in small gestures. As she grew up, she became known for her sense of style and neatness. Even in her teenage years, she kept her hair impeccably done and took pride in her appearance. And it wasn't vanity. It was about presenting herself with dignity and honoring herself and those around her, which I love. My kind of girl.
Like, I can imagine it, too. And so cute.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I bet she knew how to do that finger wave so fucking good.
So good.
Oh, man. Mary did eventually marry Richard Reeser, and for years she lived a fairly conventional life. She was raising her son, who they also named Richard, and managing her household. But when her husband passed away, she faced a profound loss. Rather than letting it overwhelm her, she made a bold decision and she decided to move to Florida. Seeking a fresh start in a warmer, sunnier place. She wanted to live a life that was quieter, slower, and more of her own. And Florida wasn't that bad back then, that I know of. Even in Florida, Mary maintained her sense of order that she had been raised with. She rented a small ground floor apartment where she could live comfortably but independently.
All right, Mary.
She decorated it very simple, of course, always neat and always inviting. She spent her mornings writing letters to her son, sipping coffee on her small balcony, and chatting with neighbors in the courtyard. The sort of small routines is what made her life feel ordinary and calm. People who knew her described her, of course, as proper and ladylike. Always put together, hair perfectly set, lipstick on. My kind of girl. Even if she was just running to the store, though, she always looked her best.
I love her so much.
I know, same. But, of course, she wasn't fragile. Any way, shape, or form.
No.
She walked into town. She handled her own damn bills and carried herself with a quiet dignity that made her presence very memorable. You didn't have to know her well to notice that Mary Reeser was someone who valued routine, manners, and independence. So now, Richard Reeser, her only child, again, they were extremely close. She was the kind of mother who always made sure he knew he was loved no matter what. Richard grew up in Pennsylvania, watching his mother balance her independence, and he inherited a lot of her traits: intelligence, a strong sense of responsibility, and a quiet determination. He was the kind of man who valued order and precision as well, which makes sense. He went on to have a very successful career in medicine, and he became a doctor, which honestly fits perfectly to the way he approached life. He was very, very well respected in his field, and the colleagues described him, of course, as dependable, methodical, and compassionate, which you always want that in a doctor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Mary.
Yes.
Way to go.
Yeah. Despite his busy professional life, Richard stayed very close with his mother. After his father passed away, he supported her as best as he could from a distance. He was very encouraging to her, though, to live as independently as she was.
Yeah.
So, of course, like any good son, though, with her being far away and as independent as she was, of course he was worried about her being alone. He would often send letters, telegrams, and would stop by when he could, just small ways to keep their bond strong across all the miles.
Yeah.
When Mary did move to Florida, Richard eventually joined her, but he continued to travel for work. That is actually part of the story.
Okay.
Now that background's done, I know that was a lot. I'm very sorry. But
it was interesting. It was intriguing. I like it. It's a time we don't talk about.
I needed to paint a picture of who they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. The night before she died, Richard came to drop off a telegram about an upcoming trip he was taking. They talked for a while, very casually, about her day and his plans coming up, and Mary mentioned that she felt a little drowsy because she took some sleeping pills. I didn't have a good place to put this, but she also smoked unfiltered cigarettes.
Okay.
And she definitely liked to have a cigarette before she went to bed. Little did either of them know that this was going to be the very last time he ever saw his mother alive. I want to stop and point out that this was one of the big discrepancies that I found in this case. A lot of articles stated that she took sleeping pills. A couple of others said that she took muscle relaxers because she was having a surgery the next day. I couldn't find a confirmation, but most of them said sleeping pills.
Okay.
So, now, back to the morning of July 2nd, when Pansy Carpenter finally got the courage to open Mary's apartment door that morning. What she saw, the word strange does not even begin to cover it, personally.
Yeah, from what you've already said, it was weird.
Yeah. I'm going to take you even further now, okay?
Okay.
At first glance, everything looked normal. The lamp next to Mary's easy chair, if you don't know what an easy chair is, I'm putting a sample of it up. It was not the chair, but that's what they look like. The lamp next to Mary's easy chair was still standing, unscorched, completely fine. The walls were mostly clean, except there was some smoke damage on the top half of them. Not anything
Okay.
lower. Even the small stack of newspapers that had been sitting on the side table hadn't yellowed or curled from heat at all. The carpet, even a few feet away from the chair, was completely untouched from smoke or fire damage. However, it was covered in some sort of fluid, kind of. I'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
But then, as you look a little bit closer, the chair itself was almost gone. It had been burnt down to ashes, leaving just a vague shape in the spot of where it had been. And Mary, she was also gone, completely reduced to ash. The only solid parts left were a tiny fragment of her backbone, so her spine, her skull, which had actually been shrunken to the size of a teacup, and her left foot still snug in the black slipper she was wearing.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. I will say the things around the chair showed traces of damage, but in such an odd way. Like the arm of the chair closest to the ash pile was mostly gone, but the rest of the frame had only slightly been charred.
Okay.
Like it had been brushed by the heat rather than like engulfed in flames. The small rug underneath had singed just like along the edges near the chair, but then the rug like a few feet away was totally untouched. Like right there. Yeah.
Okay.
The wall behind where the chair was did burn a bit, and the beam above the chair was also burnt. I have photos for you. Please go look at them. And like in the photos, you can see there's a big hole in the wall, but that was from firefighters, not the fire.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of the furniture, a dresser against the wall, a side table with all of her newspapers and telegrams, had no heat damage at all. Again, the lamp was standing, as I said, its cord slightly melted at the plug, but otherwise completely intact. A mirror on the wall had no signs of cracking or warping. All of the appliances in the kitchen were still working. Totally fine. Some of the light switches that were higher on the walls were kind of melted, and the rest of them were kind of just like warped, and then other ones were totally intact, like near the ground. I want to stress something very quick also. She lived in a studio apartment. Let's not forget that. So she only had one room that everything was in and a partition for the wall for the kitchen that her chair was against. Again, I'm going to say this a couple of times. Please refer to the photos. I did include one that's like a bird's eye view drawing where you can see it and like then the
apartment
burn
layout
area.
that you showed me. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then you can see the burn area.
Yeah.
To make it
I mean, that makes a lot more sense with all the what you've told me so far, but it's just I knew it was a studio apartment. It reminded me like why is it only damaged at certain levels?
Uh-huh.
Did she stand up? Keep going.
I'm going to keep going. To make it even stranger, if you don't feel weirded out already,
I am.
the electric clock on the table had stopped at exactly 4:20 a.m. Its cord had been burned through. Investigators assumed that this marked the moment of the fire, but they couldn't explain how such intense heat capable of reducing a human body to ash, hadn't spread further than just a few inches around her chair.
Yeah, like that's absolutely crazy, and it didn't catch anything on fire. So it means that the flames weren't there long enough to actually catch things on fire.
We'll get into this more. But also, there was no flames when the landlady came in.
Yeah.
How did the flames go out?
I don't know.
I know. So basically, the apartment was a completely preserved time capsule, except for the spot where Mary had been sitting. And that's what made it so baffling. Everything else could have honestly stayed in that apartment for decades without being affected by fire. But in the one small area, the devastation was completely total.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's not going to get any better.
Okay.
Investigators later noted that the room looked almost untouched, actually. The walls, furniture, flooring were clean, almost pristine, but right in the middle was that pile of ash. And it was like the room had been holding its breath for her, like for its entire life, only to release it in one possible concentrated burst of heat in that one spot.
You're going to tell me now, aren't you?
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. Yeah. So, I have a little bit of information for you. Now, let's get a little weird. To burn a body...
Get a little weird? It's been a little weird.
Yeah. To burn a body down to ash like that, it needs to be around 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit for hours in a cremation furnace. And most of the time, burns actually don't completely burn. They actually have to grind them down.
Yeah.
So the fact that she was burnt to that.
And her skull shrunken down to a teacup size.
Yeah.
And because
then her
it
left
would be
foot
for
still
hours,
fine.
which means that the rest of it would have gone up in flames, so it didn't burn long.
Mm-hmm. Naturally, local authorities started investigating right away, but they quickly realized they were completely out of their league.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. They tested, of course, for all the usual things. Maybe she'd fallen asleep with a cigarette. Maybe the sleeping pills had made her groggy. Maybe some sort of accident with flammable materials. But nothing was fitting. The fire was too localized, too intense, and too impossible to explain. At that point, they decided to call in the FBI.
Well, yeah. Because, I mean, who else is going to do this
Yeah.
right now?
Back then, the FBI often got involved in unusual or unexplained cases, especially those that seemed to defy conventional science or law enforcement understanding, not like how they get involved now.
Yeah.
They wanted experts who could analyze everything with advanced methods, as much as they had in the 50s. Chemical analysis, fire forensics, and a very close look at the apartment itself. Also, just because I think it's a super fun fact, J. Edgar Hoover was still alive, and he actually worked on this case.
Oh. That's a fun fact.
That is a fun fact. He died in the late 60s, maybe early 70s, something like that.
All right, right on.
Yeah. I'm not going to touch on him. We're not going to touch on Mr. Hoover.
That's fine, but that's just a really cool fact to, like, put in perspective, like, when we are...
Time-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The FBI sent a team to collect samples from the walls, the floor, and anything nearby that could hold clues. They tested for accelerants, things like gasoline, lighter fluid, and any other flammable liquids that could have caused the fire. They looked for evidence of explosives as well. They even analyzed the furniture, the rug, and the newspapers, anything that could give them an idea of how a body could burn that completely without igniting its surroundings.
Question. Was this ever a Twilight Zone episode?
We'll touch on that later. Here's the kicker. The FBI didn't find shit. No accelerants, no explosive residue, nothing that could explain how this fire started or how it was contained so precisely. The fluid that they found on the carpet was actually human fat.
I figured that any fluid that they found was going to come from her and it didn't come from anything else because an accelerant for this would cause the rest of the house to be on fire.
Yeah. So the only real fuel source that they could find was Mary herself. And at the time, she weighed 170 pounds.
Okay.
Which at the time, I think, I don't honestly know if that was big or not. I don't think it was.
Because depends on her height.
Hmm?
Depends on how tall she was.
Yeah. I don't think she was very tall. But
either way, I mean, her weight comes into play with how
it does
quickly she would burn.
Absolutely. It was the level of mystery that made this case so famous. Even the FBI, with all their expertise, could not fully explain it. So what the hell happened to Mary? What the fuck?
Right? Like, you don't you don't just explode.
Well, there's a couple of theories I'm about to walk you through.
Did she eat a watermelon seed?
I don't think so. Not that I know of. First and foremost, there was a detective on the case. His name was Detective Burgess. He received a letter from someone that said, quote, I'm sorry, a ball of fire came through the open window and hit her. I seen it happen. End quote. And that's all it was.
When you said that, all I saw was the monster from Monsters, Inc. going, came in and he grabbed that kid. That kid came in and showed us with his laser beams.
Yep. Personally, I think he was a very credible source. I think he is correct. Case closed.
Yep.
Only source we need.
1,000.
Another theory was that the fire could have been caused by thermite bombs, which contained kerosene, magnesium, phosphorus, and Nepal. I don't know why I'm staring at you for this. Help me.
Napalm?
No M. Maybe napalm, and I just spelled it wrong because I'm a dummy.
Probably.
Regardless, we do not condone using this podcast as a
bombs.
bomb-making experiment. Please, for the love of God, okay? But the coroner said that the explosive would have left a very distinct odor and probably caused a lot more damage, and there was none of that. And then the final theory was spontaneous human combustion.
Does that actually happen?
Apparently, while there have been about 200 reported cases of spontaneous human combustion over the past 300 years, it is not recognized as a real phenomenon by the scientific community. Many experts believe that these cases can be explained by more conventional causes, such as unattended fires and accidents. But I have a couple of cases I want to walk you through now with spontaneous human combustion.
Why do I have a feeling that her unfiltered cigarette comes into play
It
here?
does later.
And I feel like it's not the unfiltered cigarette with the sleeping pills, because if that was a thing, well, maybe that's the reason we don't have unfiltered cigarettes anymore. But you said that we still don't know what happened. So obviously, like, we didn't find the magic combo.
Hold on.
Holding.
So the first case of spontaneous human combustion, I'm taking you through a few just because I think it's awesome. The first one dates back to 1470 in Milan, Italy, when a man named Polonus Vorstidas, oh my gosh, that's such a hard name, I'm sorry, he died by bursting into flames after a night of drinking. Yeah.
Yeah, 1400s were experimenting with making alcohol, so I see how that one happened.
1745, the Countess Cornelia Bandi of Sessa, Italy, was found burnt into a pile of ashes, but only one leg was still intact. What does that sound like? Also, why are they both in Italy?
Yeah, I was like, listen, is Mary Italian by any means? Is this a DNA thing?
She was born in Pennsylvania, maybe. 1982, Jean Safin, her family actually said that they watched her burst into flames. And then the earliest one, or the most recent one I can find is 2010. His name is Michael Faraday from Ireland. Maybe it's just a Europe thing.
What is wrong with Europe?
I don't know. He's from Ireland. He actually had a coroner put spontaneous human combustion on his death certificate.
Hell yeah.
Which is very rare.
That's
extremely rare. It sounds ridiculous, but it's been part of
folklore
for centuries. There are old reports of people who were found burned to ash in their beds with no damage to anything else around them. Even Charles Dickens wrote about it. There were also X-File episodes, many other TV shows, copious amounts of books, and don't forget, don't forget everyone's favorite superhero, but I don't think this is actually anyone's favorite superhero, the Human Torch. Flame on!
Well, listen, I mean, he's not our favorite superhero, but watching him be the Human Torch was fun.
Are we talking about Chris Evans?
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. We have the new Fantastic Four that just came out, though.
I know.
And it's the guy from Stranger Things.
Yes.
Did I strike a nerve with that one for you?
No, I'm
But-
trying not to
But
laugh
no,
too
yes.
hard.
Human Torch.
Flame on.
I love it.
Technically, that's considered spontaneous human combustion.
I know.
Anyway, so it's around. Everyone talks about it. It's in modern day tales.
I just didn't say it because I didn't think that's what we were talking about.
It's fine. It's fine. Scientists say, though, that there is always a cause, even if you can't find it. But believers, they look at cases like Mary's and say, then I want you to explain it. Yeah. You can't explain some of it, man. So, say it, do it.
I mean, there's obviously some component that goes on inside of these people after they either eat or drink or something, and obviously there also has to be some component inside of them that is doing something that a normal body isn't.
But that would be scientific.
Yes.
But are you a believer that it just happens? Sometimes.
There's always going to be a science behind it.
Period.
There's always going to be a reason. We just don't have enough contents to find it.
Period. There's also science behind aliens as well. You're welcome. We're gonna not. We're not gonna get in that. We're moving on. When the newspapers ran with the story, of course everyone jumped on the spontaneous human combustion train, and they fucking ran with it. Even today, fire investigators still reference Mary Reeser's case when they discuss the limits of fire behavior and unexplained combustion. The FBI's involvement added a level of credibility to the investigation because if they couldn't figure it out, what hope did anyone else have? The FBI report mentions something called the wick effect because your clothes can soak up melting body fat and the body burns slowly like a candle wick. That's like horrifying.
Yeah, that's... I didn't need to know that.
It could, in theory, destroy the body while leaving the surroundings completely alone. So basically, what they're saying is that she fell asleep with a cigarette in her hand, and it lit her nightgown on fire and used her body fat as fuel. And that's why it only burned this. However, that still doesn't explain the shrunken skull, and that detail has never been explained.
Well, and because, like, it burned hot enough, like... If her cigarette fell on her and lit her nightgown on fire, we would have lit the chair on... Like, it would have been a fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, so the fire couldn't have started on the outside because other things would have been lit on fire. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no other explanation. Because of how contained it was and everything else. It's just... I think it's the fact that the years that some of these things took place and not... knowing what we know now, but like the only way we would be able to know is having her exact like stomach composition and like her entire like labs on her whole body, because like she could have had a liver issue or a kidney issue, she could have had like a gallbladder that was leaking, and like the sleeping pills mixed with her unfiltered cigarette made a perfect little storm and just poof.
Yeah. How did nothing else burn?
Because it was, I think because it was quick.
But she was reduced to ash.
Yeah,
which
because it burned
so
hot from inside first and just burned her out, because by the time it got out, it was done.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So her death certificate read, death by fire, cause unknown.
I'm thinking that the cigarettes have way more to play in this than anything. The fact that it's an unfiltered cigarette, and depending on the 50s, like what was in them, and like I have a feeling that there is something between that unfiltered cigarette and whatever med she took, whether it was left over in her mouth or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I will say, I was telling someone at work about this case, and she said, and she's a smoker, and she was like, they now have fire safe
the filters,
paper or some shit like that. So cigarettes have come a long way.
Yeah, they now will go out instead of just keep burning.
Yeah. So like of course, while I'm reading this and researching it, I'm hearing the cigarette, and I was like, there's no way that's possible. But I'm thinking about the cigarettes now, not almost 100 years ago.
Okay, so since we're thinking of just like absolutely wild things because this is absolutely wild and how we got to this.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes, most of the time, it's usually the most mundane thing that happened, not the most crazy wild.
Yeah.
What if something scared her while she was taking a hit of the end of her cigarette? You know, and it, like, because they're not filtered, so they get down to the bottom.
Yeah.
And she and sucked it in, and something just that used to be in the unfiltered cigarettes or whatever,
it wasn't even
ignited.
Maybe it wasn't even a scare. She was just sucking too hard and
it went in. And it went in, and then
it's possible. It's fucking
like
possible.
That's another thing I was thinking, because
but
you'd smoke that bitch down to nothing.
That though, you know you did that. Why wouldn't you have stood up and tried to go get water or something?
She
like
might
that?
have, but that might have just whoop.
Then her body would have been somewhere else.
Or she was sitting there and she tried to lean forward to just cough it up, and give me a better theory.
I don't have any theories.
Okay.
Dude. I believe the guy with the fireball coming through the window.
I like him. He's actually a pretty good one.
But
was the window open or closed when she got there?
I have no idea.
That's the real thing here.
They didn't actually put anything about the report of the window being open or closed. All I know is he seen it.
He seen it.
He seen it. I believe it.
Ugh. But I don't know. That's so crazy. We joke about it.
Yeah.
But it's a thing.
It is. For me personally, with how hot that fire had to have been, how did it not go anywhere else?
Because I think it was just a poof and gone.
And then the thing on top of it also is you saw the little bit of smoke damage coming down the walls.
Yeah, I think it would have gone, what the fuck?
Yeah. So, was
Aliens.
the fire just going straight up to where it was then, cascading?
Billowy
Did you ever
like this?
ride the Mummy ride in Universal?
No, but I've watched the POV for it.
Great. So you know how at one part the ceiling literally lights on fire and just kind of cascades
Yes.
down? That's how I imagine this fire.
Okay, I could see that, because it obviously didn't, it wasn't something that was burning.
No.
Because the chair would have been on fire more, there would have been fire damage more. So I don't think it was something that started on the outside. I think it started inside, and it had burned so hot, it just had to have literally been
an internal.
And I don't think it was slow. I think it was really quick. That's the only way it could have been for the papers not to be on fire, only some of the light sockets, only the heat, because it had to have been such a big.
Yeah.
I think it was a wave of heat that hit the room.
Yeah.
And then,
I also want to know what thud Pansy heard for her to first
That's why
wake
I'm
up.
thinking that something scared her. And she...
But the clock went down at 4:20. Pansy woke up right before 5. So maybe... Did you have a thought?
In that picture, how's her foot laying? Is it on the ground?
Yes, it's on the ground. And that skin is still intact. Her foot is... But the other foot's gone. Gone. In ash.
I'm so confused. I have no idea.
Yes, it's just too...
Every time that you think you get close, you're like, well, what about this? And then it changes everything.
The only thing I can think of is maybe the thud she heard was, maybe she had been burning, sitting there burning, and the thud she heard was maybe the skull dropping.
But it fell on the chair.
There was a pile. The chair was burning. It was down. And that's why that picture of the police, going through the rubble. But also, if it's just the size of a teacup...
You're not going to hear it.
I don't know. How did it...
How did you find this?
It's a very well-known conspiracy true crime theory.
Yeah, I've seen several videos on this.
Was there a Twilight Zone episode on this?
I don't think there was a Twilight Zone.
Because I just the whole time, I just hear that man's voice. I also hear from How I Met Your Mother, Enigma of the Imagination.
Yeah.
In Louisiana, she was making a tuna salad sandwich.
Oh my goodness.
And at the exact same time... That's what I heard the entire time you were reading this episode. The whole time was in that voice.
Thank you. Yeah. So, I like
it when you bring fun ones like this.
Thank you.
That you just...
Yeah.
What?
I know. I realized as I was driving here today that like I haven't done a whole lot of fucked up ones recently since that
You did enough of them?
since last season.
Yeah. It's my turn.
Specifically because of the one that Jeanette gave me really sent me down that
Yeah.
spiral. So I like giving you guys these ones.
That's fine. I'll be bringing the heat for right now. Jesus.
Don't spiral like I did. That was bad.
I already did that. I already came back from it. It's fine.
Great news. Great news. I love that for you.
Yeah.
Let's finish this out. Okay, I only have a little bit left. So, Richard, her son, never believed that it was just a cigarette. Richard was devastated by her death. He never actually accepted the idea that it was simply a cigarette accident. In interviews, like years later, he insisted that something unnatural had happened to his mother. He remained haunted by the mystery of her death. And it was clear that even as a rational, logical, and a doctor, couldn't reconcile it. Couldn't fully reconcile this.
And that's even crazier because he was a doctor, so he does have that medical knowledge, and he still can't find the logic in it. And
Yes.
we're over here trying to find the logic in it, and it's not even our family member.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that for him having all the medical knowledge and all the training he has to be like,
He's just like,
this
what?
doesn't exist.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, that's rough.
I know. So he did go on with his life, but the shadow of that night, never really left him. Friends and family described him as someone who carried both love and grief quietly from there on out, never letting it show too heavily in public, but always present in his demeanor. The loss of Mary stayed with him, a constant reminder of how fragile life can be and how strange and unexplainable the world can feel sometimes. He did end up getting married and having 3 daughters. He named one of them after Mary, which was very sweet. Unfortunately, he passed away on August 22nd of 1998 at the age of 88.
Oh.
So he lived a long time. And only one of his 3 daughters is still alive today.
Mary?
No.
Oh.
Pansy, the landlord, I don't actually know what happened to her, but I did see that she did an interview later on, and she said she could still smell the apartment decades
Oh, God,
later.
that's awful.
Yeah. So the smell, I didn't actually touch on it. So not only, fire has a very distinct smell. A lot of people really like it. Some people find it weird. Just go with it, okay?
Yeah.
What she was smelling was a human body burning.
Yeah, which is a very different smell.
Yes, including fluids.
A smell that most say that you can never get rid of. What it burns. I've heard detectives say that the smell of burning flesh it burns the scent into your nose hairs.
It does. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people actually become very strict vegan or vegetarian after they smell a body being burned.
Oh, that's a fact I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's an interesting fact. I like that fact.
Yeah. Just because of the smell.
Yeah, I could see that though.
I see it. I
Valid.
see it. Yeah. Mary Reeser lived an ordinary, quiet life. But the way she died is still one of the most unsettling mysteries out there. And
Yeah.
honestly, the scary part isn't the fire itself. It's the thought of whatever happened to her could happen to anyone without warning. This part, I don't know how to say this. We didn't get justice, but
Yeah.
there's not really justice to get.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know how you were going to do that for the end of this one.
Yeah.
I feel like Richard would think that we did not get justice because we never learned what actually happened.
Yeah.
I also don't think that learning what happened could help other people because it's such a rare thing that I feel like is going to be a case-by-case basis. And if there was something causing spontaneous combustion, we'd know about it by now.
Probably not just 200 cases of
Yeah, like we would know
this.
things to not mix together or don't eat this and drink that. Or, I'm just...
Yeah, I don't think there was justice to get.
I'd be really curious on those 200 cases how many people are Italian, lineage, because that's real weird.
So there was 2 Italian and 1 from Ireland.
Yeah, but
I
The
think
two in Italy alone in those years would
Yeah.
be the ancestors of all the people we'd be talking about later.
That's true.
So,
if you guys have done any further research on spontaneous human combustion and looked at lineage whatsoever,
I just feel like this comes down to, like, a genetic composition
it might be.
on, like, that level of there being something, and it mixed with something else perfectly. Like, the alcohol, like that dude drinking, like, obviously...
Moonshine, it was probably straight moonshine.
But we
Let's
were in
be
the
real here.
1400s in Italy. We're talking trying to make a bottle of wine here.
They were trying to make limoncello.
Anything. But legitimately, like...
That's been around for a lot longer.
Oh, no, I know. But, like, what I'm saying is, like, whoever was making whatever they were making or he was drinking,
Yeah.
not everybody's good at that nowadays, which means not everybody was good at that back then. Anyway, I'm just saying that one made me think that there's something with either in the sleeping pill and a genetic composition, something in that
Yeah.
alcohol fermented differently or did something and mixed with something in him specifically.
Her.
Like, her. No. The Italy one, was that a dude?
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like there's an internal component that you can't look at because they're
Maybe.
gone.
Maybe. The other thing I'm thinking is, like, also, medicine is not what it is now. Back, like, how, so maybe the sleeping pills were possibly flammable, and you're not supposed to combine it with something.
I could see that happening because you take the sleeping pill.
Yeah. And I have no record of if she happened to be a drinker or not, either.
Yeah. So, all
don't
of those
know.
things together could make a perfect storm.
It could have, yeah. I don't know.
Hey,
We don't
if
know.
anybody has any connections at the body farm, will you let us know if they've ever done an experiment for this?
Jackie, no.
No, I want to know, because honestly, like, it'd be cool if, like, that's something they work on there to see if, like, they can recreate
That's
the
true.
circumstances behind this to try to figure it out. That'd be, like, one of the only places that you could try to do that.
That's fair. Also, please don't try to make a bomb. I'm going to stress that.
No, I said
With
the
the
body
information,
farm.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Just with the information I gave you, please don't try to make a bomb.
No.
For the love of God, please don't. We don't condone this.
No. We do not condone more
Yes.
Paul Weeklies in the world.
Period. All right. Do you have anything left to say?
No.
Okay. We're going to go straight into our shameless plug.
We are.
Yes. Please follow, like, subscribe everywhere and anywhere you can. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Fuck, we have Audible, iHeartRadio. We're everywhere.
Spotify, Apple.
Leave us reviews. We miss the reviews.
Yes, we love them.
We love the comments. We miss the reviews. Do both.
Yep. Check out
watch
our
fun.
website. It has
Yes.
all of our merch on it. We just released an Unfortunately collection.
I only said it once.
I know.
Once.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And you can also submit a case, view all of our resources, all the pictures, all of that good stuff.
Yes. And also, I mentioned pictures for this case. They will be on all of our platforms,
Yeah.
as well as in the YouTube video. So go with what you feel. Do with what you prefer.
Yep.
But like, share, follow. We love you guys. We are happy that you're here.
Yes, always.
Yes. I have nothing further. Sorry I left you with a really confusing thing just to think about for the rest of the day, but it's better than what you did.
It is better than what I did.
You're a problem.
I am a problem,
You're
and I'm
a
going to be a
real,
problem next week
real
again.
problem. Fuck.
I'm about to be a problem again.
She's always a problem. Don't let her fool you. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with us today, you guys. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely week, and we will catch you guys next week for that shit. All right? We'll see you guys later. Okay? Love you. Bye.